Hi, everybody. Welcome to 5 Minute Ministries. There's an old saying from a great philosopher. His name was Popeye, and he once said, "Wrong is wrong, even if it helps you." Now, what he's getting at is the idea that wrong will always be wrong, no matter what. And people do not want to accept that. They want to rationalize or justify or spin their wrongdoing or their wrong sayings or their wrong thinking to make it okay, to make themselves seem less of a jerk, less of an immoral person. They want to justify themselves. And we all do it. We want to make ourselves look less bad than we are because we don't want to feel guilty. We don't want to be shamed. We don't want to be wrong. We want everyone to think we have a moral superiority. And one of the biggest tactics is, well, I'm not so bad, look at this person. Or I'm not as bad as. Or, hey, I only did this. And we try to draw a line and say, this is where the line gets crossed, and I'm right up to it. I didn't cross the line, even though we crossed someone else's line, even though we offended other people. We don't want to admit we're wrong. And no matter what happens, even if we benefit from it, it's still wrong. People do it continually. Businesses will cut corners. People will do underhanded things to enhance their bank account or enhance their careers. People will do things in their relationships to get the upper hand over someone else. And it's always wrong. It was wrong from the very beginning, and it's wrong now. That doesn't change. Well, how do I know that standard? Really, if you think about it, if someone did what you did to you, you would be upset. You would be offended. And you would say, that's wrong. And you would have no problem telling people that. But if you do it, it's okay somehow. That is just simply wrong in itself. And we have to take our standards not from ourselves. I did a series already called Misconceptions, and I listed some of those things. Who determines right and wrong? It's not society, it's not the government, it's not laws, it's not ourselves. It's the Word of God that determines right and wrong. The Word of God does not change. We change what the Word of God says by how we spin it to fit what we think and how we want to live our lives. And many people will use the Bible to justify sinful actions. As a matter of fact, we don't even call actions sinful anymore. I'm sinful anymore. I say I misspoke, or I should not have done that. However, and we all know these so-called quote apologies that people make that aren't really apologies, they're justifications. And we cannot be that way. Wrong will always be wrong. It doesn't matter what you think about it. It doesn't matter what you say about it. What matters is that you go along with what is right, and you continually do what is right. Now, there are many people who would take the wrong and say, it doesn't matter how wrong I am, you have to accept me, because that's what I think. That's how I identify. Now, I want to take this a little further, because let's talk about identity for a moment. Let's say I go out and I rob a bank. They put me on trial and I say, hey, you can't throw me in jail because I don't identify as a thief. I identify as a decent, moral person. I identify as a good citizen. Therefore, I'm not a thief. You can't throw me in jail. So it doesn't matter what we think of ourselves. It doesn't matter how we identify ourselves. Wrong is always going to be wrong. And yes, I'm taking a small thing and expanding it because people do it continually. They may not say those words, but that's how they think. They want to justify their wrongdoing, and they go out of their ways like, well, I'm okay. I'm always a decent person. Okay, maybe I made this one mistake. They don't call it wrong. They don't call it a sin. They call it a mistake. They try to make it less than what it is, and they will not take accountability for it. But if you are a believer in Jesus Christ, you follow him, you are truly his. You try to be like him. take accountability for your actions and avoid doing the wrong. Do the right thing as much as you possibly can. And when you are wrong, seek forgiveness and seek to make it right. This has been 5 Minute Ministries, and I'll see you next time.